So I do want to go ahead and put a little bit of a disclaimer at the beginning of this video. This is going to be my first time editing a video in this sort of format that I'm going to be uploading. And I just want to say it is going to be a learning process, learning the type of content that I want to make, learning the type of way that I want to edit this content, and figuring out what I want this content to look like. As of right now, I have these lights put up, which is just my TV and my two monitors going on, just revolting colors just to make it pop and look sort of nice. I think it looks nice. I just want to say it's going to be a learning process, my first couple of videos, to kind of learn what it is that I want to do. But without anything else, let's just go ahead and get right into this review. I did genuinely enjoy this movie. This movie didn't necessarily surprise me because I knew it was going to be good, but I didn't think it was going to be this good. It really surprised me in a bunch of the aspects that I will get into going on. But I do want to go ahead and talk about a couple of things that didn't kill the movie, because the movie in and of itself is completely fine. There's a couple of things that I probably would tweak and kind of fix, but that's just me sort of nitpicking because that's what I do. First couple of things that I want to talk about that did kind of not necessarily annoy me, but a couple of things that I would change is a couple of the side actors that are in this movie, like the two bullies, the young Vlad, I think that's what his name is. What was his name? Thaddeus. The kid's name is Thaddeus. That's what it was. The little kid annoyed the fuck out of me when I was watching his scene. I mean, it's a little kid, so I gotta give him some leeway, but it just fell flat watching him act in that movie, watching him act in the first part. I'm so glad he wasn't in any other part of this movie. But just the beginning, but that also goes to say that the beginning part of this movie is really slow, and it doesn't pick up until we get to see Billy. It's the whole beginning. I understand, you know, you gotta world build, you gotta introduce all these things that are coming in. You know, you can't just drop the ball and then let it happen like that, because that's what messed up for Batman vs Superman and Justice League. They just dropped everything in and none of it made any sense. So I understand that they're world building here, and it was completely fine. It's just, for me, it was really boring. But there's nothing that could have avoided that. It's just that it was boring to me. It was the whole beginning intro to it. It does completely pay off later, because the rest of the movie, once we see Billy, completely picks up and changes completely in tone and everything. It's like watching a completely different movie once Billy gets into the equation of the entire movie. The foster home aspect of this, where they all meet each other, they get a family, they become a family and everything. You know, you see Billy being the sort of outsider kid. You know, he doesn't necessarily want to be there, but I mean, there's nothing else that can help that until he becomes Shazam. And once he becomes Shazam, it just turns into one of the best superhero movies I think I've ever seen. It's honestly better than half of the Marvel movies, and I mean that with all of my heart. A little off track there. That was, I guess, the only thing that I didn't like about that movie was I would change a couple of the actors, because the two bullies actors and the little kids actors would be the only two things that I would really change, the only two things that I didn't necessarily like. But that's really the only things I didn't like. Let's go ahead. I kind of jumped into it before. I got a little excited. Let's go ahead and jump into the things that I did like. The trailers for this movie was done completely how a trailer should be. When you watch this movie, if you guys haven't seen this movie, I'm gonna be spoiling a little bit of this. I'm gonna be spoiling the ending of it, so if you don't want to get spoiled, either click off the video part I'm gonna be spoiling. So if you don't want to spoil, just click off real quick or go to the timestamp. I don't know if there's gonna be one. I haven't edited this yet. But at the end of the movie, it doesn't end with Shazam fighting the main villain and Shazam beating all of the 7 deadly sins that the villain has. It doesn't end that way, and I personally thought it was going to end that way, so that's why I was kind of worried about this third act of the movie. But it ends with Billy taking the staff and then having all of his other foster siblings hold the staff, and then they all turn into Shazam gods. I don't know necessarily to call them, but they all turn into Shazam gods, and that shit got me giddy as in the theater. That shit got me hyped as hell when I saw that in the theater. I was super stoked to see that. When I watched the trailers, I don't feel like they hinted at that happening at all. I feel like, it was just gonna be another thing where the hero just comes back and defeats the main villain like in every other movie. But no, this part of the movie completely shocked me and completely just got me super excited. And honestly, that end part is what made this movie good. This end part is what made this movie worth it. Other minor details that go along with it, but the ending to this movie is one of the best endings I have ever seen in a superhero movie. Another little kind of smaller detail that I really liked about this movie is we got to see the superhero train. We got to see the superhero actually train to become a sort of hero. He doesn't just get the powers and then automatically just turns into a badass and knows how to do everything and is completely self-aware of what he can do, and he is just unstoppable. Actually, they have all these training montages where he learns how to fly, he learns his super strength, he learns that he just picks up his powers while also training for them, and it really is just showing that this is a superhero movie, and this is a really good superhero movie. There are a couple of other parts that really tug at your heartstrings. There is, at the beginning, Billy is searching for his real mom. Find out later that she left him at the carnival on purpose because she was a 17-year-old girl at the time, or 20 or something. She was really young, and she left him. So she left him at the carnival on accident, but then she saw how well that her son's life could be if he just left her. So he spent the whole time with him trying to find her, and then he finally gives up. And just when he's about to give up, his foster family finds his notebook that he's thrown in the trash can that has all the names of all the different Batsons that he has tried to find over the last few years or whatever, the last however long. The family comes together and they find the actual mom. They find his mom, and he goes and he talks to her and he tries to reconnect with his mom and stuff because he just wants to be his family. He just wants to be with his mom this entire time. Yeah, but he finds out that his mom left him there on purpose, so he feels this sort of regret and this sort of resentment that he's completely ditched this other family just to be with his mom, the mom that doesn't even want him. And he kind of you see this part in this movie, and it really just comes out of nowhere, but it really does tug at your heartstrings. And you really see that he has already found his family, that he doesn't need to be with his mom. He sees that his mom doesn't want him. He sees that he can have a much better life if he stays with this foster family. A couple of little minor details that I do want to talk about that really did get me really excited and giddy as in the theater. This foster family hostage. You see Billy run up to the top of this building, and he runs and jumps off a roof and yells Shazam mid jump off the roof, and he turns into Shazam. And that scene, for whatever reason, just got me really hyped. And this movie is just really well put together. This movie is corny, it is cheesy, and it shouldn't work in the way that it does, but it works completely fine, and it's really good. This movie is the DC movie that we all deserved for the past, I don't even remember, but it's the movie that we deserved from DC, and they finally gave it to us. But at the end of the movie, there was a scene earlier in the movie where, what's his name? Freddy? Is that his name? Freddy? The kid with the crutch? I think his name's Freddy. Freddy tells the two bullies that Shazam is gonna come to lunch because him and Shazam are the bestest buddies. But Billy gets caught up being a superhero and being a superstar that he doesn't show up, and it makes Freddy look like a complete, liar. It makes him look like he's a liar. I don't know what else to say. But at the end of the movie, you see Freddy sitting by himself, and you see the bullies come up to him and bully him. That's why they're bullies. And then once he's sitting there, out comes Shazam, sits on the table, and I thought that was a really nice moment. But it doesn't end there. I thought it was going to end like that. I thought it was going to end on a really heartfelt moment with him coming back and showing everybody that he's like, oh, we are best friends. But then Shazam says, he said, oh, I also brought somebody else with me. And I was thinking, when I heard that, I was like, no, it can't be. It can't be. Because throughout this entire movie, they are also world building. They're building off the past DCEU universe. You see Freddy wearing Aquaman t-shirts, superhero or Superman backpacks, Batman shirts. He has a batarang. You hear him just geeking out over and over and over and over again about superheroes. And just out of nowhere comes Superman. You don't see Superman's face, which I personally really enjoyed. Honestly, if they would have showed his face, I probably wouldn't have liked it as much. But you see Superman, you see his boots, and you see him walk up to the table, and you see his logo, you see his costume. His costume is the exact same from the Superman and the Batman and the Justice League movie. It's the same suit, and you see him walk up to the table, and you just hear Freddy shriek, and then the movie cuts. It ends, and that's how it ends. And the way that it ends like that is just completely phenomenal. And this movie is just really nice. This movie is really good. I hope you all go watch it. So I know this video is kind of all over the place. I am, as I said, this is going to be a learning experience. If this is what I continue to want to do, I am going to be probably freaking out over the next couple videos, just because I'm trying to figure out how I want to structure and style these videos. So if you guys would, if you guys do want to stick along and you guys do like my content, I'm gonna be trying to grow it. I'm trying to make it better and all this other stuff. The video I'm gonna be doing is Avengers Endgame, which will probably be the next one. I'll try to get that one out. I'm probably gonna get that one out a lot faster than I got this one out. I didn't know I was actually gonna be making this video until I went out and I saw Shazam. And once I saw it, I wanted to make a video on it, and I thought I'd surprise some of you guys by watching it and making this video. I do want to apologize that I did say I was going to be uploading on this channel about a month or a month and a half, 2 months. It's been a while. If you guys did enjoy this video, I'm going to be obviously trying to make these videos a lot better and a lot less. But if you guys did enjoy this, go ahead and I'm gonna do that cheesy, I'm gonna do the natural YouTuber thing. Please like, subscribe, and if you guys did like it, stick around. I'll be trying to make as much content around here as I can, and I won't leave you guys. I'm sorry. But with that, that's pretty much it. Go watch Shazam. It's a really great movie. You won't be disappointed.